all this
getting all these Japanese emails.
Look at all this support. Welcome everybody to, what day is it? Friday the 18th, 2020. John Lavenia here with you. Welcome to our mastermind. We are live on the interwebs. Looks like, I gotta set my thing here. Looks like we've got speaker view, gallery view. Sorry guys, a little bit of technical difficulties going on here. Let's set it back to speaker view. Hopefully that'll work. Good to see everyone. John Lavenia here with you. I do see, of course, Allie, who was just helping star. And of course, we got Julia here. And my goodness, hey, Therese. Therese, we got our final integrative nutrition deal today. Is that happening today? Yeah. What are we talking about today, Therese?
So today we are talking about healthy holiday strategies.
Oh, I need that.
And then maybe favorite Christmas memory or holiday memory.
Very good. Very good. You know, on that note, this is our last Fun Friday of the year. You guys realize that? This is our last Fun Friday. Next Friday, a week from today, will be Christmas Day. We're going to be actually going off the interwebs for a day, although we do have our hospitality suite, which is always open. And I know a few of you have been kibitzing about getting together and, doing a little Christmas thing. I'm going to be doing a little bit of traveling myself, but our topic for today is going to kind of lend itself to that. But I just wanted to say, as we get started here, and we gotta see who's got dogs and jokes and everything else. John Apogé's here. Hey, John. Good to see you. We got to hear from Nida this week. Hey, there he is. We got a few of our longstanding members who have been. Oh, John, who's this?
That's Race.
Race. Of course, that is Race. Look at that. Love that hair. That is beautiful. And remind me, John, what kind of dog is that?
It's a soft-coated Wheaten Terrier.
Beautiful. For those who don't know, John Apogé has been involved in racing on the professional level, like going really, really fast, on a closed track. Got a couple mics open here. Linda, do you have a comment?
Oh.
Linda, it sounds like you're rustling the potato chip bag or something.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, no worries. Or maybe you're doing athletics.
I need to unmute myself. Yeah, I'm working. I gotta go silent.
Okay, I got you. Did you have a joke or something to share with us today?
No, unfortunately, I have no jokes. No.
Okay. Beautiful picture as always with your grandchild.
Thank you so much. Yep.
All right, good stuff. So we've got, so if you want to come on out, it's open forum right now. If you got a dog or a cat or a rat, or in fact, let me see if my daughter's around. She can bring her hamster out. Hold on just a second. Hey, Trin, you want to bring Oakland out here? We got a bunch of people on the internet who would love to meet her. Yeah, if unless she's sleeping. I mean, don't I know they're crepuscular. They're crepuscular animals. Who knows the meaning of the word crepuscular? She's not sleeping. Okay, well, you're about to meet Oakland.
It means dusk in French, John.
That's right, dusk. They come out at dusk. The crepuscule is the twilight. There's a word we haven't used before. I had to look it up myself. But hey, Caroline, you got a cat? There's always a cat in your face whenever you don't want a cat in your face.
I know.
Right.
Don't say the word. She'll probably come now. She heard that.
Okay. Caroline and I had a meeting yesterday, and the cat was like right there in the cat.
On the wrong end of the cat.
Right. Right.
Not a good look.
But this is our final general session on Fridays, anyway, for the year, and we're going to talk about that here more in just a minute. Is Dave here? Does Dave have a joke while I'm waiting for this this hamster to show up?
I've got a joke.
Yeah, come on out, Allie.
Okay, what's white and crumbly and swings through the trees?
Oh, I have no idea.
A orangutan.
Oh, very good.
Orangutan. That's great. How's that rat coming along here? Everybody wants to beat it. Okay. So stand by for the and the hamster's name is Oakland, which is a made up name. And get ready for this. Here comes Trinity. All right, show and tell. Here's Oakland. Look at that. And she is what kind
So
of hamster?
cute.
He's a winter white dwarf hamster.
A winter white dwarf hamster, and a good one at that. She doesn't
Wow.
bite. She is very friendly. She crawls up and down your
Oh,
shirt. Yeah.
She's
so
cute.
cute.
And she eats and eats.
And eats
That's great.
and sleeps and eats and goes real and eats more.
There you go.
Gorgeous.
Hey, your shirt matches Teresa's. That's beautiful.
Oh,
Hey,
Okay.
just do it.
well, bye-bye.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
All right. So what we're going to be talking about today, as we get this show on the road. Anybody else with a joke or an animal? No, we good?
I got a joke. John.
Yeah, come on out, Lieutenant Colonel.
Why do seagulls fly over the sea?
I don't know.
Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be called bagels.
Oh, that's good. Bagel. Actually, they do fly over the bay. You know what? I grew up on the New Jersey shore near the Barnegat Bay.
Bad joke number
Seagulls.
one.
Yeah, yeah. We called them flying rats. Because that's basically what they are. And some of the kids would do like dastardly things where they would throw Alka-Seltzer into the air because seagulls will pull food right out of the air. They'll take a French fry out of your hand before you're about to put it in your mouth. And they throw Alka-Seltzer in the air. And apparently the seagulls expand and then like their ass like ejects like this explosion, you know, kind of experience. I don't know. I've never done it, but that's what I heard. So moving on. Moving on. This is our final Friday of the year. And on that note, I wanted to introduce an idea because I was thinking about, as we've talked about for the last couple of weeks, as several of us have, what have we accomplished and what can we accomplish with the time that's left in the year? And a lot of times for me, I find a little bit of inner conflict going on between, well, here's the, I guess I'll give you right to the punchline. I'm my own worst critic. I'm my own worst critic. Look at all the stuff I didn't do this year. Anybody else experience that? Look at all the intentions I had, and I didn't expect, right? When we were singing Auld Lang Syne or whatever, almost exactly a year ago, I didn't expect, you know, pandemics and marketplace changes and the currency markets. And I mean, you guys see what's going on in the marketplace right now? Of course you do, because we're all entrepreneurs. We've got an idea of our own statistics on a micro level, and then we can look on a macro level, and some people do. Mark was doing that last night with his global strategic tactical marketing broadcast that he does every other week. We look at more global conditions, you know, things that certainly affect us if we're doing business on planet Earth. And I didn't expect all these things to take place that happened this year. And so I can look and I can say on one hand, well, yeah, you know, there's other things that I was intending to do that I didn't do. And here I come to the close of the year, lamenting what I didn't do. Now, you guys know that I'm very much interested in applying right principles into my life. Things like, you know, overcoming procrastination through decisiveness, through definiteness of action, definiteness of purpose. We read whole books on this. We just read for the last 15 weeks, we were reading Think and Grow Rich, studying Think and Grow Rich. Right? Could you read it faster than 15 weeks? Yeah, you could. Okay. But we spent a week on each chapter to really drill in, to really see how can we apply this into our lives? How have we and how haven't we? Right? Because there's clarity through contrast. So on one side, I could be my own worst critic and I could say, you know what, here's all the things that, you know, I intended to do. Like that course I took that I paid a lot of money for that I didn't quite apply what I learned. Yeah, I mean, I could have, but you know, other things came up, circumstances, you see, circumstances. And that's an easy conversation to have, isn't it? That's an easy conversation to be critical of oneself and to say, you know what, here's the things I didn't do that I intended to do. But then I'm going to go ahead and look a bit more objectively and see what's the opposite of that, right? If there's scales, right? There's two sides of a scale. What's the, excuse me, what's the other side of the scale look like? The other side of the scale looks like we're still here. We made it, right? You got through arguably one of the most tumultuous years in terms of, well, certainly, in terms of health and, pandemics and changes in the marketplace and difficulties in various fields of commerce and the complications of the internet and in some cases, people finding their voice, losing their voice in terms of, how they communicate to their intended ideal target audience. There was lots of changes that happened this year. And what do we know about, well, hopefully, what do we know about reaching goals? We know that if we already knew how to reach them, we would have already reached them. So, okay, so all of our goals lie in the realm of the unknown. And what produces unknown conditions? Change, whether they're self-induced. I'm going to change something now. Damn it. I am going to cause something different to happen. Okay. So now I'm traveling into the realm of the unknown, or through these circumstances, which I could very easily, without any thinking, without any consciousness at all, I could very easily assign cause to. I can very easily blame circumstances, right, for any deficit that I may be assessing now as I'm taking a year-end inventory, right? But I could very well, if they get credit, if the circumstances get credit for what I didn't do, could they also get credit for creating the unknown realm, the conditions in which I will reach my goals? You see what I'm saying here? Is that there's two sides to every coin. Adine, I'm going to go ahead and mute you up. There's two sides to every coin. Yes. Here are things that I intended, and because of market conditions, changes, situations, circumstances, I did not. But at the same time, if I'm truly believing in myself and that I'm moving toward my goals, then I know that unknown conditions or this unknown realm of experience, because I've not experienced it before, is where my goals live. So can I then reclaim and rehabilitate my own causation and all that, give myself some credit as the guy who got through this interesting year? We all made it. Here we are. I mean, right there, that's a testimony. That's a testimony right there. We'll talk to our grandchildren, assuming we have them, right? We'll talk to our grandchildren about 2020, won't we? We'll tell the tales of stuff that they may not even, wow, you went through that. I remember talking with my my grandmother and my grandfather. My grandfather's passed on. My grandmother's doing her thing. Grandpa went out of his body a few years back. I'm sorry, guys. People are binging and bonging me. Let me go back on Do Not Disturb mode. And I remember talking to my grandfather about his experience in World War II. He was in the Navy. He was a CB. Anybody know what a CB is? The Construction Battalion. And so he was a CB in World War II in the Navy. And I remember he and my grandmother were relating the sign of the times, the events of the times, where they had gotten married, I think at age 16, which I thought was crazy. And I would think, right now, I mean, my daughter's 10. I can't imagine her getting married in just 6 years from now. I mean, before she can legally drive or drink or buy a gun, right? So, but anyway, those were the times, right? And I remember hearing some of the stories of how things were back then, and I thought to myself, wow, I can't imagine that sort of going through that sort of a condition, and yet here they still are, right? And my grandfather has since passed, but here they still are to tell the tale. And have we not all qualified for that through this year? I'm not here to affix a medal to your lapel for just showing up, okay? However, just showing up in terms of modern times and the e-commerce marketplace and all this kind of stuff, just showing up, yeah, that's a big deal. I would say that's probably 80 or 90% of it. I heard a conversation from a guy named Doug Weed, great orator. I've done a couple events with him when I was running an events opportunity where people could pay a lot of money to come to exotic locations and sit in rooms and hear motivational speeches and financial management and all this kind of stuff. And one of our speakers was this guy, Doug. Now, Doug has been a consultant to presidents, and he influential in various direct selling marketplaces. And he told a story, and I've told it here before, but I'll just relay it again here real quick because I need reminders all the time. And that is the story of back when he was growing up as a child in the Cold War, or in the Red Scare, I guess. I grew up in the Cold War, right? But I guess the beginning of it was when he was a little bit, older than me. And then they would have air raids where they would, the school children would be told to get under their desk because, we're going to have an air raid drill, right? It's a drill. And because, there may be, an air raid coming from Russia or something, the Soviet Union. And so turns out years later, when the Cold War was over and Soviet Union collapsed and people realized, hey, communism doesn't work after all, that he met a Russian guy who was the same age and who was also hiding under his desk as instructed by, the public schools, because the Americans might be doing an air raid or something. So, and here they are doing business together. Fine, everything's fine. Here it is years later. And it made Doug think that, what, one of the, where he said to me, the 80%, I'd say about 80% of you becoming successful in your business and your enterprise and whatever you're looking to do, about 80% of that is simply the fact that you've got right now, you do, political liberty and free enterprise. That's it right there. Because here's this guy from Russia, right, who didn't have the opportunities, but him and many others have come to the land of opportunity and have made a spectacle of themselves, and that's fantastic. Why? Because political liberty and free enterprise. That's 80% of the show. The other 20% is what you do with it, which statistically likely is not much, right? If you look at most people, not much, right? But you're 80% of the way home. So the question then is, if you've got your face down in the mud, is it worse to have your face down in the mud with the boot of oppression on your neck, or to have your face down in the mud with no boot on your neck? And he was saying this to a group of, 500 of us. This was his lecture, sort of the, the grand finale. There's no boot on your neck, folks. You have no guarantee that tomorrow will be the same conditions. But what are you going to do with your ability in the environment that you have right now, which is largely open for you to do what you want to do? People come here and they do great work and become quite successful, right? So what are you going to do with no boot on your neck? Sit there and cry victim? Is that what you're going to do? Oh, it's easy. We could do that. Who wants to sign up for that? So it was a great reminder and a slap in the face for me, because I realized I'm so close. I'm so close. All I got to do is reach. And then I would say the culture of modern times and social media and the interwebs and the ability for people to publish far and wide, whether or not they've got something intelligent to say, they could still do so, right? Within that environment. A lot of times, and we just read about this in Think and Grow Rich, one of the 6 ghosts of fear, right? A lot of times we don't reach because of fear of criticism. That was number 2 on the list. Number 1, fear of poverty. Number 2, fear of criticism. This crushes people. This is why most people won't commit to a course of action, to actually reaching, to making themselves known. I mean, the first step in any new enterprise is that you've got to make yourself known. You're in a state of what we would call non-existence. And so you've got to get some communication lines and get in communication and figure out what people want and prepare to deliver that. Right? So this would raise you out of that lowest condition in terms of getting something started, which is you don't exist. You don't exist in the marketplace. And so for me, and I've talked about this before in these sessions, I look at what have I not done? Because like my friend Grant Cardone says, he says, best known beats best. Best known beats best. To me, that occurs as a damaging admission on the part of Grant, because maybe he's saying that he knows that his content isn't the best. Okay, fine. But everywhere you look, there he is. 10X, right? Those of you who have read his book or listened to his stuff, everywhere you go, there he is, right? So he talks about the 10x principle. So whatever you think you need to do to reach your goals, do 10 times that, 10 times. And maybe you miss. In fact, you probably will. You almost definitely will miss. But what if you land at 8 times? Okay, great. 8 times my goal. So considering that, and considering, as we mentioned last week, here we are starting a new year. I don't care what the calendar says right now. My mindset says, I got to start my year now. I got to start this 2021. I've got to cause something big. I've got to cause something. Me. All right. And do I know all the circumstances that are coming my way? No, but I can't dwell on, oh, if only I had, remember that list of alibis? Again, for those of you who've read the book, Think and Grow Rich, 6 Ghosts of Fear. He gives us a whole litany of, I think it was 3 pages long. Well, depending on your font size on Kindle or however you're reading it. But there was all these things. If only I had this, if only that. This is the if onlys, which is directly correlated to the but eyes. A lot of us have a case of the but eyes, right? But you don't understand, but I have these problems, right? The but eyes. If only, but I'm special. You see, I've got special circumstances. My problems are more real. They're realer than the other real problems. Well, you know what? Good news for all of us entrepreneurs. We get to pick our problems. In many ways, we get to pick our problems. I remember having a conversation with some people who were very intent on becoming successful in a new business that they just put tens of thousands of dollars into. And yet they were concerned, and they were voicing this to me because I was their personal development mentor. They were concerned that they tend to think negatively. And I was like, really? You tend to think excuse me, you tend to think negatively? Yeah, all these other people, I mean, we're sitting in these lectures and we're hearing this great stuff. We're reading these great books. It's all about positive thinking and applying these principles into our lives. And I can't help myself. I keep thinking negatively, like they were unique or something in that tendency. Just like I'm, I'm so unique that I'm my own worst critic. Okay. It's like, well, all right. So here's the thing. We can embrace the dragon right now. This is a way to, I got this from a Buddhist teaching where the way you conquer the dragon isn't to pull out your sword, it's to embrace the dragon. What does that mean? That means to recognize whose energy is causing the dragon to even exist. Oh, it's mine, right? So let's recognize how off the rails we can go when we misuse our own power of thought. And so I said, all right, great. So you want to think negatively now. Here you go. Well, you don't want to, okay, but you find yourself kind of swept into that. So let's think some negative thoughts here. So now, let's say you've quadrupled your income. You know what your tax bill is going to be like? You want to talk about negative? You want problems? Here, let's sign up for some problems. Now you got to hire a tax attorney, right? Now you got to play the game. Yeah. And at that time, I was paying more per quarter than most people paid in taxes in several years. There's a problem. Right? Let's think negatively on it. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's meditate on that. Let's meditate on how big your tax bill is going to be because you're making millions. Right? Oh man, that's a good negative thought. Yeah. Let's see how we could take this turd and turn it into, the fulfillment of our goal. Let's see how we can make, in other words, lemonade. Let's see how we can make lemonade. And this year was lemons for a lot of people. And I don't want to dwell on that too much, but I think the way to solve a problem is to confront the problem. If we can recognize that many of us have had problems, we got people right here, right now, who I know and love. I've gotten to know so many of you personally. And I love you and you're awesome. Just showing up here is a statement to me that your intent is bigger than that which would keep you away from your goals. Yes, your intent to reach your goals is bigger than that which would be a barrier or an obstacle. So for that, you've got my total respect, right? Because stupid people don't show up in these conversations, right? People with no ambition, no self-reliance, no self-determinism, right? They're watching kitten videos. They're doing whatever they're doing. Nothing wrong with kitten videos. But my goodness, we got to produce something, right? And so when I think about the quality and the caliber of people who we were all handed lemons in some way or another, right? You guys know my wife just went through a year's worth of cancer treatments, double mastectomy, reconstruction surgery, chemotherapy, radiation this year. That doesn't sound like fun, but we got through it. And my goodness, those of you who follow Shannon's work, she's back in the saddle. She's kicking ass, right? Why? She has a reason to. She has a reason to. And I got to get through the rest of her book, doing some commentary and proofreading on it, so we can get that published. But it's about now empowering women in this case, because breast cancer, right? Empowering women to create out of that situation. And I think that is the theme that I'd like to start the new year with, is what are we creating out of? I've said this before, it's way more inspirational to move toward what we want than just out of what we don't want. Here's the turd, okay? But what you validate, you get more of, right? So, all right, that's fine. Where are we going? Where are we going? And I've got to, through auto-suggestion, through constant repetition, consistency, persistence, keep reminding myself of where I'm going. And then you know what I find happens? You know what I find happens when I stop dwelling on what I didn't do or my perceived barriers? I find myself reaching. I find myself doing and not thinking so damn much. Thinking. Should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? And a lot of us can fall into sort of a justification mode of why we may or may not, should or should not, right? All this equivocating, all of this thinking. But is it really thinking, or is it just succumbing to a ghost of fear? In other words, are we letting that dragon, which it's our power that's being used, are we letting that thing kick us around? Or do we embrace that and we say, you know what, man, look at how powerful I am. I was able to make myself so worried, so stopped, so indecisive. Look at how powerful I am. I did that. Me. Wow. So I guess my theme here is anything we can do to confront and observe how we maybe have been, lack in our integrity, our ethics, our intent, right? Indecisive. Anything we could do that we can be critical of and say that was a deficit. I flunked that test, right? Anything we could do, we can then say, we should say, I think, how is that, since I caused that, right? How can I now reclaim that energy, re-empower myself, and stop thinking so damn much and just reach, just do it. There's a book by Peter McWilliams. It's on my shelf. It's out of print. And the title of the book is Do It. And the subtitle is Let's Get Off Our Butts. Butts, single T, right? But I, but this, but that, right? Let's get off our butts. Do it. Maybe we'll, if we can get enough copies, maybe we'll introduce that one into the the book study as well. Anyway, those are the ideas that are coming up for me today. If you're tuning in on the internet or on a well, we're all on the internet, but if you're watching this on recording, definitely check out some of the stuff that's gone on over the last week, not only here in the general sessions, but if you're a full member, which everyone who's here with us live is, check out some of the other sessions. Everything I can do, look, I'll end with this and then let's open it up. Anything I can do to stack the deck in my favor, I will do. I will take every unfair advantage I can get. I don't have the availability to attend every single session that all of our hosts and facilitators do here inside the John Lavenia Success Mastermind. But they do it nonetheless because there's different points that hit different people. Like Nancy did yoga yesterday. I definitely needed the yoga. I wasn't available. I wasn't able to attend. I can go do the recording right now. Yeah, I can go get a little bit centered, get some flexibility going on here and remember who I am and why I'm showing up, right? Therese, we just talked to Therese here just a moment ago, right? She's going to talk with us about, having a healthy body, right? Integrating nutrition into our repertoire, right? What does that have to do with making money online and being a successful business person? Nothing and everything. Nothing and everything, right? I showed up at the gym before I showed up here to talk with all of us here in the group. What does that have to do with any of this? Nothing and everything. Consider that. And who are you going to be starting now in this year that's coming up. We're about to hit the road. Khaled, you've got your microphone unmuted, therefore you've got the floor. You are first. Come on out. Yep. See that? See how that works? You make a little bit of noise and I call you out. All right, we can go ahead and get hands up here, and we'll start with one of my favorite people in the Milky Way friggin' galaxy, and that is Star Heart. Hi, Star.
John. Oh, what a lovely introduction. Thank you. Hello, all my lovely people. Really nice to be here. Really nice to see you. And really nice that it's the end of the week. And I just want to read to you. I took a photograph of it. Where's it gone? Library. Elvie wrote a Christmas card to my brother this morning before we went to school. And this is what she wrote. And I just had to take a photograph of it because I nearly cried. She said, "Dear Uncle Sonny, hope you have a great time. Christmas isn't as it seems at the moment, but positivity is our strongest power. So, ... And then it's the normal card thing. Wishing you the joys of Christmas and happiness in the new year." And then she put, 2021 will be better. Just remain positive and have a great Christmas. Love from Elvie.
That's coming from an 11-year-old. Right.
And I literally just this morning nearly cried. I was like, that is just, I couldn't wish for any better. And a large portion of that is what's rubbed off on her from being a part of this group and being around all you such lovely people. So happy Christmas, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. And sometimes Elvie shows up on a YouTube video and leaves a comment. Hey, this is Elvie. Okay, Elvie. How you doing? That's great. Great stuff. All right. I'm very interested in getting our kids club going again once we've got a bit more of a population for it. But that is, I think, important work as well. Oh, that reminds me, and we're going to go to Therese here in just a second. IVA had arranged and through our different communication channels, a gift exchange for the kids of our community. And I think they've all by now gotten, I know, Star, you held up a chocolate bar or something yesterday, but the kids have received their gifts. I don't know, IVA may have some ideas, or someone may have some ideas. Maybe we'll do it in a hospitality suite. We can just kind of have the kids say hi and show their gifts. I don't know, whatever you guys want.
That would be really, really nice. I don't, we'll have to think about timings for that in terms of the globe.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure that out. We got a short week here because we're ending on Thursday. Let's go to Therese and then whoever else wants to talk. Hey, Therese.
Hello, everyone. It's so lovely to see you all. Star, it's so festive in the background. It makes me smile. I broke down and put a few things up, but admittedly, I was in a little bit of a funk. And after the last week ago, when I received that information about not getting the position, I was in a little pity party. I think I mentioned that over the weekend. But what I realized is that it wasn't necessarily about that. It was more about just being a little funk. My mom won't be here with us this year, which, I know a lot of people are experiencing that, but she's quite blue and missing her family. And so anyway, we turned that around a little bit. So as it is, my sister and I, we text my mom every morning, and we have a little chain that goes back and forth, and we send silly, gifts and to try to stay connected with her and get her engaged. So we've kind of amped it up. And so now we're taking pictures kind of all day long and sending them to her and reminding her of Christmas past and pulling pictures from our past in the holidays and just really incorporating her. So A, we did that. B, I say that, again, this group is always so inspiring for me, and kind of people show up when you need them to show up, and lift you up. I stayed on the hospitality suite. I don't remember now which day it is because they're all a blur, but I think it was maybe Wednesday or Thursday, and it was Virginia, and actually it was 2 days in a row. I think it was Virginia and I apologize that I can't remember who else was there. I think maybe Neil. And so you know, I had mentioned early on that I really was interested in doing this, an ebook. So Virginia kind of stirred my senses about that. And I started, it was Evelyn, actually. Evelyn in California was also there. And so I started making some notes about that. So again, in my January calendar, I have created my list of 6 things there. And the first one is work on the ebook, continue working on the ebook. And of course, I've been chatting back and forth with Ego and a few others about doing some coursework for nutrition. So offering courses. John and I, we touched on that just a little bit, but I lost focus there. And I just signed up for a continuing education with my nutrition school for cancer. So while it's not a popular topic, it's also a very important topic. One I've shied away from a little bit because so many people I know are really very healthy individuals, like that eat really healthily and have kind of a control on that and still end up with it. So this is going to dive a little deeper, this continuing education with several oncologists and medical professionals, nutritionists and naturopathic physicians, et cetera. So I'm really excited about that. And what else? I would really love to add the Pilates, 1 class a week with our mastermind group to further continue my wellness like package. So I'm working on how that looks, trying to get a camera, trying to connect with my building to secure the space upstairs to be able to kind of record that. And the other thing that really shifted me, I mean, many of you know I'm also an artist, but I haven't really, it takes a lot for me to find the inspiration to draw. And typically I travel. When I travel is when I get inspired or when I'm outside. But I thought I'd share this. And I know there's Jody is also making her Christmas cards, and we're supposed to share. We're supposed to share. That's part of it. So I'm just in the beginning stages. And I think it's going to be more of a Happy New Year card. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. It's, again, just lines right now. This is a little bit of color on one of them, but it's a poinsettia.
Beautiful. Looks beautiful.
Thank you. So there, I'm checking things off the list. And I want to say thank you to everyone because, well, John, you've given us so much. And as we start to round out the year, you know, there's been past times where I haven't even thought about what have I achieved or what haven't I achieved this year. It was just like, again, the end of the year. And I was so occupied with doing year-end numbers for the companies I represented and projections for the new year that I wasn't thinking about my own year-end numbers and my own year-end projection. And I've achieved more than ever before in a year. And it's just been not even a full year because of you and this group. And I just want to say thank you, everyone. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Therese. You sure have. And I guess that's our theme is to recognize all that we have accomplished, despite circumstances, pleasing or not, right? You're powerful. You are powerful. Thank you, Therese. You know who else is powerful? Ego. Ego's powerful. Let's bring Ego out here. Hey, Ego.
Hi, John. Hi, everyone. Yeah, Therese, you basically summed it up really nicely. We have achieved so much in such a short space of time. I was telling the ladies on the Tech Talk this afternoon, from June or July till now, I've taken on so much, but at the same time, I've actually achieved a lot, considering it's just 6 months. And despite the many challenges that showed up, you know, during the year. So John, you touched on a few things that really resonated with me. The first one was clarity through contrast. A few weeks ago, I talked about, you know, 2020 being my year of clarity. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. And with clarity comes focus, right? So I had decided that with the clarity I have from 2020, I'm going into 2021 ready with much focus. It may well mean trimming down some of the things I've committed to or working on. However, you know, just kind of focus to deliver, to achieve great results. So that's one of the things I talked about. And then the other thing you mentioned was not dwelling on our perceived barriers, right? So it's human nature, right? Even though we do have a positive mindset, we do tend to kind of fall back sometimes. I do. And I think about, the fact that, maybe something is in the way of me achieving or reaching that which I want to achieve. So, not dwelling not dwelling on those limitation or perceived limitations, I would call them, actually sets us up for success. And it reminds me of something I read, a quote I read today from the Alchemist by what's his name?
Paulo.
Paulo Coelho, exactly. So basically, I think about what you said about starting the year now. Yes, I know the new year starts January 1st, but if not now, when? Why do I have to wait? I still have today's the 18th. I still have another 13 days to go before the year ends. So whatever it is that I've committed to doing, that I plan to do, I might as well start now. But anyway, these are the two quotes that I noted down today when I read them this morning. It said, when you are not able to go back, then you should only worry about moving forward. So thinking about, we're worrying about our perceived limitations. We can't change the past. We're in the present, we live in the present, but we can actually make conscious decisions to change our future. So that's the first one. And then the second one is, you will find your treasure in wherever your heart is. So that's showing up with intention, showing up with purpose, applying ourselves. We're putting our whole heart into it. And that's where our treasure is. And where that treasure is, we will actually succeed in whatever we lay our hands on to do. So those were the things that came up for me as you were speaking.
Wow. Thank you, Ego. Great reminders, great insights there as well. And yeah, I'll tell you, one of the things you accomplished this year is you are now a published author.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Great times, everyone. And so that's the thing, right? I can look at here's all that I didn't do, and I can look at here's all I did. This forum didn't exist just a few months ago, right? Beautiful, beautiful. Bill from Northern Ireland. Hi, Bill. I'm not hearing Bill. Is anyone else hearing Bill? Uh-oh. Bill.
Can you hear me now?
Got you now. There you are.
You hear me at the rack, as they said in hell. Good on spot, as usual, with what you've said there, John, and pretty inspirational, actually very inspirational. I liked Ego's piece there of why wait? Why wait to the new year? I constantly say that to those that would say to me, oh, from next month I'm going to stop drinking, or from next month I'm going to lose weight. What are you waiting for? Do it now, right now, not next month, next week, next second, or whatever. And that's one thing that you've got to get at. This is probably, as you rightly said, John, been the most horrible year for a very long time. Certainly in my life, it's been absolutely abysmal. However, I have a lot of people here to thank for keeping me on the upper side of the turf as opposed to the lower side. And I will again this week shout out Nancy, because her yoga is making a hell of a difference. I do need, and I will be, because last night was our last session, but I'll be contacting her because I need more sessions, because I'm finding muscles and things that I forgot about. So I have, which is reacting very nicely. But we all fear about achieving nothing. And for me, this year has been a bit of a flat spin, shall we say. Great intentions, but you just keep going around in circles. And every time something else comes along, the plate gets knocked off the stick, and I've got to set it up again, and let's get that wheel or that plate spinning again. Yesterday, I spent an hour and a half in a telephone conference with social services, social workers about my mum and her present mental state. I've been duly granted an audience on Christmas Day for half an hour with her. Wow. At the home because of all this nonsense going on. However, a tough decision to make about your mum, especially when you're doing it on behalf of the entire family. Very supportive, but it has showed me what I have achieved, and that I can sit there and basically take control of the meeting and tell them what I want and tell them what I be aiming for, and and progress it that way, as opposed to just sitting there listening to everybody telling you how they think things should be done. And one of the interesting things I found was that to be able to get her to stay where she is at present, where she is very happy and the staff love her, we have to put in a package of evidence to a panel. Now, I don't know about your views on panels involving intelligent people. My views are not that great on intelligent people, because sometimes these intelligent people have no life experience about anything. So I'm looking forward to that challenge and presenting enough evidence to tell them how bad all the other old people's residences are. And that's why you're going to keep her at this residence. So that's that's going to be one simple goal for me, and that'll be on the go straight away. The other thing, I guess, is you said about fear of criticism. Yes, we all fear criticism. Nobody likes being told, you're crap at that, or you're wick. But for me, and I can tell you all here and now, I fear nothing. I fear no one. Maybe the odd woman, but in general, I fear no one. And the reason I fear no one is because I believe in me. Because I know what I'm doing is right for the right causes. And it's not for anyone else to come in and say, oh, I don't care if you don't agree. Same as your mental health training. When that bad thought comes in, or when that bad person comes into your life, there's the door. Close it on your way out. I'm getting on with my life. I would like to do the same. And to me, that is one of the big things to be achieved. And I know I will do, just as Ego has put a stick in my eye now about getting started. I will start now, not tomorrow morning. I'll start as soon as we're off this call and get things done. And I'm going to leave you with one simple, happy, festive thing from one of the nurses at my mum's nursing home sent this picture through. And it was taken a while ago. She forgot about it. She said, I just sent this through. And hopefully you'll be able to see it, you guys. I'm not sure if you will. But there's Mom, okay? She's holding like an ID card in a sale for your photograph. And on it says, name, Margaret MacDonald, age 89 years old. Advice to younger generation, don't grow up and always enjoy the sun. Thanks.
Thank you, Bill. As Bill was talking, I was reminded of it was a t-shirt design or something. I know we got a few people involved in t-shirts here. I don't know if this is still going around. Let me go ahead and share my screen. There's a few different versions of this about procrastination. Here's one. What do you think of that? Anybody ever seen that? Here's another one. There you go. Yeah, tomorrow. The sun will come out tomorrow. All right, you guys don't want to hear me say that. All right, anybody else before we wrap up here today?
I could quickly
You guys
talk
are
on
awesome.
procrastination.
Yes.
So I know here I am always going on about psycho-cybernetics, but his whole thing of procrastination is to use procrastination for the bad feelings and the bad habits. Like he's like, oh, I can't be bothered to feel angry today. I'll think about feeling angry tomorrow. Oh, right. Or, it's too hot to be envious today. I'll feel envious later. And he does this whole thing about using procrastination for your bad habits and bad feelings and putting them off. And you don't need to feel like that now, which I love.
That's beautiful. One of the precepts of 12-step fellowships, like Alcoholics Anonymous, is just for today, like one day at a time. So yeah, I'll drink tomorrow. right? So that is, I guess, well, I would call that a good amount of mastery over that. If you can recognize that, we could just shift that to later. But right now, I've made this decision right now, and I can decide something later, and then I'll decide it again tomorrow, right? And just keep doing that every day. And next thing you know, you're a year, 5 years, 10 years down the road. Beautiful stuff. We got a couple more hands up. I was just about to wrap up the show, but here comes Jane and Neil, and then Caroline. Hey, Jane and Neil.
Hey, John and everybody.
Good to see you.
Hello. I'm just really personally coming on just to thank everybody, because obviously you're all aware that I wasn't very well back in October, and there was a lot of people reached out to Jane. I wasn't really aware of what was going on at the time, and still sort of suffering a little bit, but hopefully I'll be able to see some consultants. I did have a scan, and luckily they found my brain. I have got one. It's
well done.
It's a vicious. Yeah, thanks. So that's one thing. Also, we did reach out. I would like to thank Adrian as well. We reached out to Adrian, and specifically Evelyn, who's. Were you whispering in my ear? Thank Evelyn. Thank Evelyn. I'm concentrating hard enough. Anyway, it's hard enough. And if it's okay with you, this is a little bit lighthearted, and I know a lot of you know that I do dog agility, and it is relevant in a way. I'd like to share my screen if possible. I'll share it, and can you see that?
Yes.
This is Lily, and don't laugh at me running. This is her doing her stuff, basically. We should have been at the World Championships, as you know, this year. It didn't happen, but we've already been asked to go. Not next year, because I think COVID's still going to be around, but the year after in Greece. And the point I was really wanting to show this is that you can imagine that it didn't take me, I wasn't able to do that overnight. It started with the little moves round a jump, just round and round cones, telling her to go round and round cones. And those obstacles, gradually, you can then take them on. We're at now just under £15,000 turnover for the year. I mentioned that earlier. And believe you me, there's been obstacles on the way. This is after 4 or 5 years that I've got legally to this. We've only been doing this business for 6 months. There's going to be more obstacles, and that will be in 2021 and 2022, but you have to keep going. A lot of you also don't know, unfortunately, my brother's just been diagnosed with cancer as well. And he's having palliative care. So we take these obstacles and we have to overcome them. And that's all I've got to say. Just other than that, Merry Christmas to you all, and thank you all so much.
Wow. Thank you, Neil. And always good to see you and Jane here as well. And thank you for your contributions on the e-commerce work group on last Monday, or this past Monday.
I really enjoyed that, actually. It was really rewarding to support Stuart with Adrian as well. And obviously everybody that was online, if you want to save some money, if you didn't see it, go back and watch the recording, because there is a way to save some money if you're spending advertising costs.
Beautiful.
Or getting out of control. Definitely go back and watch it.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Neil. All right. We had Caroline, and now I think we don't. So Caroline, any comments before we wrap up? Caroline? Nope. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and wrap up with that. We do have a hospitality suite, which is opening now. I know some of us have a business meeting to run to. So at the top of the hour, I will see you all again on integrative nutrition, which is, let me just look at my calendar. and tell you what time that is in Eastern time. That's 4:30 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. And then we're going to wrap up at 6 p.m. Eastern. Be heard right here with me listening and you talking. So I will see you guys